Hey everyone, I want to talk all about how to handle anxiety or other OCD related symptoms during the nighttime. Now, I made a video going through my morning routine where I walked around and showed people what I do because I do like waking up early so I can get a lot of the stuff done I want to get done. But I don't really ever talk about nighttime, and nighttime is something that affects a lot of people. Now, it doesn't really have any particular significance. You know, some people will say, well, I'm anxious in the morning and not at night, and then vice versa, or I'm anxious only during the day. None of that actually matters. That's just another way for OCD or an anxiety-based disorder to try to trick you into thinking that you're different or you're treatment resistant. But I do want to talk about what I had to do at night and how anxiety and panic attacks, specifically panic sensations, would kind of follow me throughout my nighttime routine and really be kind of pounding away, heart palpitations specifically, when I would be in bed ready to go to sleep, and all the compulsions that I did to try to escape that. But before I go any further, please subscribe, hit that like button, comment down below, let me know what you think about this, ask me any questions. I get back to every single comment. And I do think this is a very important topic because I tend, like I said, specifically to talk a lot about the mornings, but not so much at night. So let's jump right into it. So the most important thing to start breaking down when it comes to sleep-related fears is the fear surrounding not getting enough sleep and having problems in the future. So the fear being stuck with anxiety or guilt or shame, depersonalization and everything else in between, following you into your sleep patterns, and then you not getting REM sleep, and then you afraid that you're going to die early and everything like that. So one of my favorite quotes was by someone named Beth. Her Instagram is the holistic sleep coach. She suffered with really bad insomnia. We work with her in some of our insomnia clients and stuff like that. And she said that it was a great quote. The sleep industry has built a multi-billion-dollar industry convincing people if they don't get enough sleep that they will die young. Now, I think it's very important to clear up that getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep feels great. I feel a lot better when I get 7.5 hours. Sometimes I don't, sometimes I do. I wake up a lot during the night. Our dogs wake us up. I get up to go to the bathroom. I toss and turn a lot more than the average person. I've been like this my entire life. And there's nothing I can do about that really is inside of my control. Now, I like a colder room, but in the summers, we don't have central AC in this house because there's a lot less humidity in Colorado. So my upstairs can get really hot. So I don't sleep the whole, especially in this place, I don't sleep the best during the summers. So I sleep downstairs on the couch a lot. I don't get the best sleep. I do like sleeping with a fan on. I always have. I don't have to have a fan on to sleep. When my wife and I were just in Florida at her parents' house, she doesn't like having the fan on, so I slept without white noise, and it's not the end of the world. But the number one thing is breaking down the fear of not sleeping and it harming you, especially from an anxiety standpoint. Now, if you slept 5.5 hours for the remainder of your life, you could live till 100 years old. You might die young, you might not. You might have genetics inside you that can make you die at 60. Or maybe you get early neurological conditions such as Parkinson's or Alzheimer's. The problem with sleep is you can't control it at all. And people believe that you can control it as much as anything. But you can't. It's an illusion. You can do things to aid in your sleep patterns, but they're really compulsive. Now, I do want to talk about this for a second as well. A lot of people think that just OCD and anxiety sufferers are completely obsessed with getting good sleep. They're not. I watch lots of podcasts and listen to a lot of researchers, and people talk about, if you don't get 8 hours a night, you're going to die. If you don't get 7 hours a day, you're going to die. This is all nonsense, and none of it is true. The reason why we know it's not true is because we have World War II veterans that lived till 100 years old that slept horrendously during the war, especially in country, when they were over there fighting, and then they had severe PTSD their entire life, and they barely ever slept. So the guy who started GoDaddy, Bob Parsons, I believe, he's a billionaire, talked about his sleep patterns on Forbes, which was a great interview he did where he talked that he would basically be up for 60 hours of a shot working, building his companies, and hallucinating before he went to sleep. And this went on for long periods of time. I'm not recommending that. I'm just giving you an idea. And he's in his mid-70s, and he is alive. So it's important to remember that you can do things to benefit your sleep patterns, but tracking sleep devices, never necessary, almost 99% of the time. Certain periods of time, we do use them for certain reasons, but almost never, like 1 out of 1,000 people. And it has to be for a specific reason, and then we kind of move away from that intuitively. Really strict bedtime routines can be a big problem as well. Like, I have to be asleep by 10. I have to wake up by 5. This one got me for a while, so I have panic sensations leading up to that because there was a fear of not sleeping. So how did it look for me? What I just said was I had a belief that I needed to be asleep or in bed by a specific time. Now, I wake up Monday through Friday at 5 a.m. because I go to the gym and do a couple other things in the morning. So sometimes I get in bed, like last night I was in bed early. I was in bed by 8:30 and went to sleep at like 9:15. That's not a norm for me. Norm is usually like 10:15, 6 hours and 45 minutes, 7 hours, and then maybe waking up once or twice a night. But leading up to that, because of the belief that I needed to sleep because I was so afraid of becoming anxious the next day or my symptoms carrying over, I believed that I needed to be in bed by that certain time, but that would create a panic sensation and that would feel as real as it can get, and then that would follow me into bed. So when I was really stuck, I had no routine at all. I mean, like I always say, I wasn't brushing my teeth. If I was showering, I wasn't even washing myself with soap. I just was like getting in the shower and then being like, all down and everything, which is understandable. And then I would get out. There was no reading. I would never read at night, not like I do now. And that was it. And I would sit in bed and have panic attacks because I was so afraid of having panic attacks. Now, how did I recover from that? Okay, number one, I had to have a complete willingness, as Rob and I say, and Momin, to experience all panic sensations whenever, it doesn't matter if it's nighttime, during the day, etc. And I had to go with the philosophy that if I slept, I slept. If I didn't, I didn't. And if I didn't sleep, it's not the end of the world. Yes, it's unfortunate, but it's not 100% horrible. And I think that's a really important thing to go over. So you do not need to get out of bed when you're anxious. This is the other thing I really want to spend some time on. Many people that come in with sleep-related anxiety-based fears will say to me, well, I get out of bed and I walk around. Well, that behavior, as I always say, behaviors instill beliefs. That behavior is telling yourself that there's something to be scared of and that you need to get out of bed and run. But that's not what we want to do. We want to sit in bed and just have panic attacks. You don't want to turn the light on. You don't want to read. You don't want to get up and find something to do. These are all understandable and old methodologies that have been around for a while, but we now know that that doesn't really work. What works is sitting in bed, having a panic attack for maybe months on end, getting comfortable with that sensation, getting comfortable with the next day of being tired. This is another quote that I say: the fear of being tired, the fear of burnout, and the fear of exhaustion are much more problematic than actually being tired and actually being exhausted. Sure, you might not be on your game, you might not be as concentrated, you might make some mistakes. That's human nature. We have mothers out there that have kids when the father's not around, they're up all night. We have people that work overnight shifts and their circadian rhythms are messed up. And this is part of life, okay? This is not, in my opinion, this is not the life I want to live. Methodical, have to be in bed by 9, have to wake up by 5, blue light blocking glasses 2 hours before, never take any risks, wake up, go to work, have some coffee, go to the basketball game, come home and die. That is the life that most people live. Now, if that's the way they want to live, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not how I'm going to live. I'm not going to live my life like that because I know I'm going to die one day. And I have no idea when my time is up. So I'm going to do things I want to do. Maybe if I'm in bed by 9, I want to read for an hour. Maybe I want to read longer than that. Maybe I want to watch the same hiking documentary for the 15th time in a row and have drive my wife nuts. I might do all these things, but I know for myself that this is what I need to do to get comfortable with those sensations. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is blue light blocking glasses. They're never necessary ever. I'm usually not that strong on something, but I'm going to tell you what I think and why. And I'm always up for, maybe I shouldn't say that they're never necessary. They're understandable, but I do not think that people need them. I think it's a more rational way to say it. Blue light blocking glasses are almost always based off fear. Tinnitus, my ringing in my ears, is the same way. It's the distraction, noise canceling, all that stuff. It's a fear, especially with OCD and anxiety-based disorders, that will not let you off the hook. I will never use blue light blocking glasses because I know that if I use them, they're only going to come from a fear of me not sleeping. Now, can I use them? Sure. I just decide not to. The only person that knows the way you're using them is yourself. And I'll leave it at that. But they are definitely not as necessary as people believe. I think we've hyped them up, and I think they play directly into fear of fear. And I think that we need to be careful about when using them, to not put our lives into a box, to not take any risks. A business owner might need to do a lot of work on their laptop at night. A provider in the medical field might have to be doing notes at night. Maybe someone likes watching documentaries at night. You can wear blue light for that. It's understandable. But again, I think it does play into fear of fear. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about anything further, please let me know. And always remember, info@ocdrecovery.com if you want to get in contact with me for personal coaching, or Rob, or Momin, or anyone else. We have webinars every single Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. UK time, and we go over a wide range of topics. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, have a great day and happy 2023.